What do you think makes a good ball player?
I don't know.
One thing about martial arts, people can say this fight game is dangerous and it's brutal, but my mind is strong. I'm fit in body and mind, and that's something that not a lot of other careers can give to a person. So
it's really important to learn. I think every young man should learn how to fight. I think there would be way less fights because of it. And I don't think you have to be a mean person to learn martial arts. I think it's a skill, and I think you learn it, and then once you start getting good at it, it starts actually becoming fun. And the people who you practice it with, you become close with.
Yeah.
You don't hate the people that you're practicing fighting with. They become some of your closest friends.
Yeah.
And I think it's it's a giant confidence boost to know that you can do something difficult and get better at it. I think just that alone, it has massive benefits for people.
Exactly. So I get kicked out, and then I start training like ninth grade. I start training, and then dude, like, I realized I wasn't a racist. I was just angry, you know? So like when I train, it gives me tools to process it. But like, if it wasn't fighting, bro, I'd be in jail. Like it's not like, I mean, I'll never forget. I always tell people the first day I trained, I got the shit kicked out of me, covered in blood, bro. Like, first moment in my life I ever felt happiness. First moment in my fucking life I ever felt happiness. That shit kicked out of me. Just all the anger, gone.
you recognize that anytime I was in the gym, I was happy. You know, whatever's going on in my life, good or bad, I go to the gym, I exercise. Exercise is the best form of medication. I always felt happy after a workout or after training, and she obviously saw that. So when I was stopped training, I was hanging around with the wrong people or whatever, you know, I wasn't as happy as I would be. So she wasn't, in her head, she obviously wasn't thinking of sending them into an MMA fight. She just wanted me back in the gym and back training and back doing what I loved.
Imagine you have no martial arts training. None. Take everything you've learned, throw it away.
Okay.
Take away all your physical training.
Okay.
You walk into a room full of people. How do you feel psychologically?
A little insecure.
Insecure.
Yeah.
Insecure.
Yeah.
That's how regular people feel.
Yeah.
Most people, I should say, most. They never train in their life. They're unskilled to deal with a situation that might occur. Could occur at any moment.
Yeah. Well, I think that would stop a lot of bullying. And I've said this before, but I think it's counterintuitive to people. They think that bullying is a mean person, and if you taught them how to fight, they become meaner. But I don't think that's the case. I think bullies are insecure.
Yes.
Yeah. I think if you took away that and they got to really establish through training that they have character and that they're worth something and they don't have to be insecure, and they build up this confidence, you wouldn't see them going out and picking on people.
I never thought I'd struggle with it, but I mean, like, for some reason, when I wasn't fighting or in camp, I just do my head in, you know what I mean? I needed a fight, and then this opportunity come up, and you know, I'm telling myself it's meant to be. Obviously, I was struggling a little bit not fighting, doing my head in. I don't know how, everything's fine. I've got a beautiful family, but I don't know, you know, I think you just need to keep busy.
There are many parents of young kids who are seeing my path and encouraging their kids into the game of martial arts. And whether the kid, you put your child into martial arts or whatever, it allows them to go and conquer whatever they want to. Whether they want to conquer the fight game, they can. Whether they want to go and conquer the business game or whatever route they decide to take, training from martial arts will help them. So I am happy that I have put martial arts in the spotlight in my country and shown it for what it is, true dedication and a beautiful discipline.
Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top, and you've done it all off of your own back, and hard work and dedication and never missing a day, the only shortcut to life is to never miss a day. One, because of compounding interest, and two, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. If you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time, was I late today? No, on time, and you try and improve every aspect of your life, and you're a professional, and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up elitist, because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. That's a lie.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
End of the week, if you don't type it, this is good question. You have to worry about yourself. But this is Saturday. Your 6th day, you work so hard. Of course you're gonna tire. Tomorrow rest, and Monday you're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She's gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain. You wanna become best. You wanna become champion. And now you wanna say like you tired. Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody care about you. Nobody care about this.
Yeah.
He was tired. He have personal problem, family. Nobody cares. You don't know. Like you just see how he fight and he go.
Yeah.
And for this one, you have to train so hard. If you don't want, halas, go back to Dagestan. Nobody gonna ask about yourself. Without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions. With your name, this is your choice. You wanna put your name there? Okay, work hard. No.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
A wealthy upbringing. We come from a very poor upbringing. When we moved to England, we were in a homeless shelter for the first year as we were trying to find council housing and a single mother council estate. I've got every excuse everyone else has got to be a criminal asshole, and I'm not. So, you know, and people go, oh, you're lucky you could kickbox. I said, getting up and running to this gym because my mom didn't have a car and we couldn't afford the bus, and running 4 miles training, then running 4 miles home is not luck. You could have done that and didn't want to. So, you know, people may meet barriers, but if you genuinely apply yourself.
Don't be scared to get to the money at all times. I went to sleep 3 a.m. I was back up at 6:30, excited. No excuses. My bad. You know, shut the fuck up and let's get to the money.
You're that much closer to becoming that person you always knew you could be. I mean, isn't it about time you do that? Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe. Switch it up if you want a different result, man. Why not try it, man? Shock the system. Start with an earthquake, man. What I mean by that is, yeah, get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. And go for a fucking run. Commit to one day. And see how you feel. As you're jogging it back in around 5 or something. As your neighbors are still asleep. Or as you're jogging it back in at 6 o'clock. And your neighbor's just getting up, grabbing the coffee, looking outside. Wondering, you know, what the day's gonna hold for them. Well, your day's already provided something for you. You see how that works? Mentally, you feel like, wow, man, that was fucking alive. And then you go about your day at work, and your coworkers like, who the fuck? What happened to old Greg, man? This is a new. Who's this? That's right, the new motherfucker's here to stay. And get the fucking on my plan, or get the fuck out of my way. That's how you run it, man. But you won't get to know what I'm talking about, man. You can't look at a picture of something of Hawaii and feel the cool breeze and the warm water. You gotta be there. You can't talk it all the time. You gotta walk it. Commit to one day. Try it. See how it feels. Getting up that fucking early when everyone else is asleep, or it's that cold. When everybody else says, no, this is not comfortable, we shouldn't do this. You say, yes, motherfucker, I'm gonna introduce myself to it. And who that person is, we don't know. Who could it be? It's exciting, man. Because the way you feel after that, as exhausted or as how unpleasant as the experience might be, the after effect on how prideful you feel, man. That's something you're either gonna love or not. And if you love it, dude, you're on your journey to something magical.
We were very, very poor. Me, my mother, and my brother, when we moved to England, we grew up in a homeless hostel. So I grew up at the very end of the socioeconomic ladder. I had a worse start than 99% of people. But I lived my life when I was poor, furious at the fact I was poor. Because my ego, and I'll be honest, my ego is at a point where I didn't understand how other people can afford Ferraris and I can't. I would be 18, walk into college, and a Ferrari would drive past. And it would ruin my week. And everyone would be like, what's wrong with you? I'd be like, don't you see? This fat fuck can buy a Ferrari and I can't. Why? He's not a better man. He's not a better person than me. I'm just as good as him, if not better. I couldn't stand the fact that there are people who could do things I couldn't.
So this gave me unlimited motivation to get rich. Now I found a way to get rich, and I believe that anyone who really, really, truly wants to get rich will get rich, one way or another.
1 a.m., I'm going for my third workout. Do I want to go to the gym? Absolutely not. I'd rather, lay in my house and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. But, to be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
I could have been great.
I never forget one time I was running by a graveyard when I was fucking just trying to become, I was fat. And I ran by a graveyard and I looked out there and I have all these epiphanies, man. I have all these fucking moments of it's crazy, man, of just thought. Cause I'm always by myself. I'm always deep fucking thought about how to be better. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there fucking just are so upset with how you lived your life and fucking just regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro. Don't die like this. So people wonder where this shit comes from me. It comes from such deep thought of trying to see what this is all about. What is this life all about? What am I all about? Why am I here? I had to find purpose.
Did you read this quote?
I have not yet.
This is the quote that I've lived my whole life, because you might as well be dead. Seriously, if you always put limits on what you can do, physical or anything else, it'll spread over into the rest of your life. There are no limits, there are only plateaus. A man must constantly exceed his level.
Come on now, what we doing? It's a new week. Get up off your lazy ass and turn up, baby. Turn up. Ain't no complaining. We don't want to know nothing about your back hurt. We don't want to know nothing about your feet hurt. Nobody care about that. You got responsibilities, and the responsibilities come first. So if your back hurt, keep it to yourself. Don't go tell your boss, boss, I was so tired. We went so hard. Nobody want to hear that. That boss don't want to hear that shit. He want to hear you say, God damn, let's turn up. Let's do another hour. See? That's how you let your boss know you done hit your ceiling. When you say, I can't do no more. Shit, I'm out here. What you want to do?
I had a conversation with a friend one day, and we was talking about family and life. And I asked him, how do you see your kid's future? And he said to me, my grandfather walked 10 miles to work every day. My father walked 5. I'm driving a Cadillac. My son is in a Mercedes. He said my grandson will be in a Ferrari. But he said my great-grandson will be walking again. So I asked him, I said, well, why is that? And he said to me, tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create tough times. He said to me, many will not understand, but you have to raise warriors. That's what Coach instilled in me, and so many like me, the strength and courage of a warrior.
Listen, this is what I learned. Everybody that you fight is not your enemy, and everybody that helps you is not your friend.
I said it last year, we're not here just to take part, we're here to take over.
If you don't want, go back to Dagestan. Nobody gonna ask about yourself. Without you or with you, it's always gonna be champions. With your name, this is your choice. You wanna put your name there? Okay, work hard. No? Bye-bye.
And secondly, if those blowhards with their blow darts want to come at me, they can send anybody they want, but don't send anybody you want back.
Nate Diaz, you just shook up the world. How's that feel? Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline. You ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline. Because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
A true martial artist is a peaceful man.
Right.
A true martial artist is peaceful. But don't fucking push me.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fucking push me.
And you wanna become world champion, it doesn't matter who's your opponent. Bring King Kong. If he can make 155, I'm gonna fight with him.
I'm not scared of these guys. These guys think they intimidate me, and they think that I think that they're scared. Oh well, if they're scared, that's all I know. I'm gonna bring the pain to them, and that's all it is. Then we go see how tough you are. Tough guy. I like tough guys. All the time in prison, I always ran these guys. They were tough. When they were in, they ain't tough.
When they get confronted, they ain't tough. When I bring that pain to them, they ain't tough. They think they know they've been around crazy. Oh no. They don't know one. They don't know crazy. No, they really don't.
As advertised, we knew it was going to be a war. Was there anything about that fight that was surprising to you?
No, I knew exactly what it was. He is a warrior. We were living in the wrong times, let me tell you. Me and him should have been fighting to death in a Coliseum. That's what should have happened.
You have to see training for what it is. Training is about skill development, not about winning or losing. You've got to understand that you don't need to win every battle. You only need to win the battles that count. And the battles that count are in the World Championship finals, okay? That's the one that counts.
Stripping that all back to the start of your career, a man with a dream, training in the gym day in, day out. If somebody said to you, you'll have or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you had said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe.
Success only comes down to one word: dissatisfaction.
We're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? Motherfucker, the purpose is you.
You will only build success if you are dissatisfied with where you currently are.
Every fucking day I wake up and I don't want to do some fucking shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't?
You don't just have to do one thing. You can do a lot of different things, but there's this weird mindset that a lot of people have that you can only do one thing. And when I realized I don't have to just do one thing, I can do a lot of different things. You can be good at a lot of different things, but you don't know that you're good at a lot of different things unless you try a lot of different things.
It's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit when you ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks. You're in the fucking dungeon. But guess what, motherfucker? I'm still going to get it. Because when that time comes, because the time is gonna come, when that purpose is there, you'll be ready. But most of us fucking aren't ready because we don't know how to do without having the golden carrot in front of us.
Yeah. To get to where you want to be at is not gonna be easy at all, bro. That's just gonna separate you from everybody else.
Yes.
You gonna put the hours in to work. I was in college, laptop, everybody going to parties and shit. I'm in college with my bum ass external drive hanging out the laptop, editing the video. Bitches is walking past the comment room like, what you doing in here? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm editing. I'm over here editing. I record the video, edit the video, 5 minutes before class, upload that bitch. The class is all the way across the other campus. I upload, make sure I upload, and I'm sprinting across the campus to go to my class, go to the class, and that video probably flopped. You feel me? Like, people think everything gonna be easy too. Like, numbers, don't worry about the numbers, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I post so much videos that don't flop in my past that didn't get me nowhere, but it's just the adrenaline of working. Like,
fail big. That's right. Fail big. You only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Sometimes it's just to not curse somebody out. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. Say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am, one of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I'll say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
You say you are morally obligated to do remarkable things. Why?
Well, I think partly because life is so difficult and challenging that unless you give it everything you have, the chances are very high that it will embitter you, and then you'll be a force for darkness and not good.
What do you think most people get wrong about motivation?
They think it's a permanent fix. They think it's something that is a constant. They think that maybe once I get it, I'm gonna hold on to it. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. You have to learn to perform without purpose. You have to learn to perform a lot of different things. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't fucking do it. And that's where you fail. You can't be isolated, alone, without responsibility, and pursuing your hedonistic nonsense and not be insane and miserable. Those are all the same thing, right? Hard work looks horrible. It's not motivating. It's not motivating at all. It ain't like Rocky round 14 where he gets knocked down and he goes like this to Apollo Creed. It looks like a man being stuck in a fucking dungeon and there's no fucking way out. But you have the fucking key, but you refuse to use it. And that's nothing motivating about that. You have to be your best self when you're least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that shit. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go and know that motivation is not going to get me there, because I'm not going to always be motivated. It was never about running. Why do you think I run? It's the worst thing. I hate doing it more than anything. Think about it. Every day I wake up, I don't just run a mile, 2 miles. It's the one thing I hate the most to do, and I do it like I love it. 250, 60, 70, 300-mile runs at one time, no sleep. And every step, when I get to think about this, I get to the fucking start line, cussing at Jennifer. Why the fuck am I here? I hate this shit. After 70 some hours of running, every fucking question I ever had is answered.
And there's this quote from one of my friends, Alex Hormozy, that says, "You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt.
Yes. Nailed.
Completely nailed.
Yes, because a lot of people will, and some of these motivational people out here, it's the funniest thing in the world to me. They'll go and say, when you wake up in the morning, pound your chest. You know, fucking look at yourself in the mirror and do all this fucking bullshit. I hope it works. What works for me is that everyday resume, the things I know I've accomplished, the things I know I've done, real hard work, the real calluses on my mind, the real calluses on my hands. That's it. You don't need to pound your chest in the mirror fucking anymore if you have that.
The biggest risk to your future isn't your competition. It's the distractions you insist on keeping in your life rather than doing the things you know you should be doing but aren't. People delay doing things they don't like for longer than it takes to do them.
It's this magical thing, purpose that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform, but we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself.
Bad things don't come in threes. Bad things happen, people don't know how to cope, and they allow one bad thing to snowball into more. Bad stuff sucks. The only thing worse is letting one bad thing ruin many good things. But where do you go to? You wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shitty shorts, whatever it is that's the issue today.
Keep talking.
You've got these problems, right?
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch.
That's
Your
it.
missus says stay in bed.
That's
It's comfy,
That's
it's cozy.
That's
You've got
it.
work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly
it.
hungover.
Cause I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. With that right there, that fires me up. That makes me fucking happy what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely.
I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
Don't ever be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. We are humans. But then again, if you always think that we're humans, you will always just be a human and always make the same fucking mistakes. You must take this knowledge that you learn from all this shit is knowledge. So I'm just trying to give people that strength to go in the archives of your life. Because while you're probably fucked up, it's probably something happened to you in your life. Go through the archives, dig it up, study it, and then use it for yourself. That's the main purpose for me right now.
You can do almost anything you want if you're willing to take responsibility for it, if you don't want credit. One of the most effective political maneuverers I've ever seen, woman she's so brilliant. I won't tell you who she is, but she's so sharp, she's so brilliant. And she told me the last time I saw her, she's had her finger in pies for like 30 years, popping up in places you'd never expect. And I asked her, it's like, how the hell did you pull this off? And she said, oh, I decided 30 years ago that I could do whatever I wanted if I didn't want credit. And so that's exactly what she's done. And she's had a stellar career, stellar. And I've worked with other people who've done the same thing. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing to realize. You might say, well, why would I want the responsibility without the glory? It's like, hey, do you want the glory? Are you so sure that that wouldn't just get in your way? You know, there's something to be said for anonymity. And second, maybe you want the responsibility because that's the adventure. You actually get to do the thing that someone else just wants to take credit for. Well, maybe doing the thing is plenty of reward in and of itself.
Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
This is my life, man. Do you know how hard I worked to get here?
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk. I'll never give up. Never.
Believe in yourself. Don't fear failure. Dream big. Work hard. Stay positive. Enjoy the journey.
Lose! I don't lose! I win! I win! I'm a lawyer! That's my job! That's what I do!
Candy?
You already know if I'm going to take it?
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Yous are embarrassing yourself here, lads. Kids stab, girls shoot, boys punch, grown-ups fight with their heads. That's where the real battle is. Up here, in the grave.
Every day, like, you know, train, sleep, eat, repeat. I think this is about my mental part. How I can control my emotional, you know.
When you're hurt, how do you feel? You lay down, right? You take a second, you take your vitamins, you do your thing. When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have, is being in pain, because everything else, happiness could be fake, crying could be fake, but pain, shit, that's real.
Man, I know there's a guy who's been calling himself champ. I mean, what guy just gives up his belt because somebody else made it home? Daddy's home, DC. Prove to the fans you're a champ. Come get a taste. I'm here. Get your belt back. I'll be waiting right here.
My parents always support me, and I'm not come from a rich family, you know. They always training hard, you know. And for the training camp, we have to go other country. I always took money from the parents, and one day I understand it cannot be like this always, you know. I have to make some money, or I have to be, you know, MMA fighter, because MMA fighter makes some money. I did my first fight in MMA, make some money, and at beginning like that, you know. After my first fight, I never ask money from the parents.
For you, you watching right now on the TV, you know what I'm saying? And all I say to you is I hope you chase those dreams with a burning desire. With a burning desire, and through all the fire, and through all the flame, and through all the pain, I hope that you find happiness deep in your heart.
Imagine being in the Formula 1 car. Must be very powerful, that.
I can't really remember winning, if I'm really honest. It's been like a minute, so like I don't remember what that feeling is. I had it so many times.
In the past years, I've had racist names being called to me. But lately, if anybody had said anything to me, I would just ignore them.
I was just 8 years old. For someone to look down at a young 8-year-old and tell them they're not going to achieve anything in life, they must be in a really bad place. My dad would always tell me, tread carefully, be careful what you say.
We don't get involved with people who have problems about whether we win or what colour we are. You know, we go out on the track and we do our best.
Okay, I mean, I've been built for this. People probably won't know that I grew up like on my dad's couch, so we didn't have any money. I remember the struggle. I remember how hard it was for my mum.
Hamilton has more wins than any other driver in Formula 1 history.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to. We have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys.
I actually think that the more disadvantaged childhood you have, the more difficulties and more challenges you have, the stronger you become. And I am dream big, dare to dream, because everything is possible. Don't let anybody take away the dream. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you're coming from.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. You have 2 hands. I mean, everything is possible. Go. And take it whatever you want to do.
Where I go, I always training. Never, ever, never. For me, training, for me is like, I don't know what's have to happen, what have to happen. You know, it's like, if I very sick, you know, if I catch flu or something like this, of course I cannot train. But even if I broke my leg, broke my arm, broke my ribs, doesn't matter. Even if I have surgery on my back, you know, it's like, doesn't matter. I always train. I always in gym. Even I cannot do nothing, I just come to the gym and I watch and I try to learn something. And you know, this is how you have to be if you want to be champion.
And I looked at him, and for the first time in my life, a human being didn't look real to me. Like, I literally seen his aura.
Leonidas, your victory will be complete if you but lay down your arms and kneel to Holy Xerxes.
It's in my head 24/7. There's nothing else I can think of. I don't think about nothing else. And that's it. I'm just curiously fascinated with it, and I can't stop thinking about it. Everything I do in my life is related to this. I don't do nothing else if it's not got to do with fighting. You know what I mean?
Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. And I'm here to tell you today, if you somebody came in my office the other day crying. I said, look, don't cry to give up, cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt, get a reward from it.
Listen, the work is behind the scene. Competition is the easy part. Behind the scenes is where the work is done. And everything is done to get to that one race that you need to run.
I know you do not speak for your father, so I come to you now directly. I have not come to surrender. Too much blood will be spilled on this field today. So I propose this. You and I fight one man on one man. We fight in our army's stead. If I lose, my men will leave this place forthwith and forever. You will have my head. If I win, I will assume this kingdom's crown upon your father's death. What say you?
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
We appreciate that. But wear one tomorrow, though, okay? Would you like that, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Was it as easy as it looked?
No, sir. No, sir, it wasn't.
Can't put into words, Joe. It's been a long fight for 4 years. The old doubted me I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Living in pound for pound. Headshot, dead. That's it.
Earth, I need to say something. Listen to me. I hope every one of you behind your screens or in this arena can feel this level of happiness just one time in your life. I hope all of you can feel how happy I am just one time in your life. But guess what? You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something in your own life. When they knock you down, when they try on you, when they talk about you, and they try to put their foot on your neck. If you stay down, you will never ever get that resolve. Fortify your mind and feel this level of happiness as you rise one time in your life. But I'm blessed to be able to feel this again and again and again and again and again.
I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him. I keep my eyes on him.
Right now, everybody stop talking now. Attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sonny Liston. I told you today, I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Then you might get me.
All I need is 6 weeks. I need 6 weeks. I'll give you my everything. You get my everything. This is about my family. I can't lose my darling.
Best words, it's dedication and hard work. To achieve this kind of things, you need to work hard and, you know, be a great professional, be serious in your job. And this is what I try to do. You know, to be here for 8th time, I think is not by coincidence.
You see this guy here staring back at you? Yeah? That's your toughest opponent. Every time you get into the ring, that's who you're going against. I believe that in boxing, and I do believe that in life.
I've been fighting my whole life. I ain't got a choice.
It's always about a choice.
You know, if you don't believe in yourself, what you do, you never achieve. You achieve the nothing. I believe. My team believe me. And you all should believe in yourself. And you achieve what you want.
Now, I know what you're thinking. How the heck does a 52-year-old over-the-hill milkshake machine salesman build a fast food empire with 1,600 restaurants in 50 states, 5 foreign countries, with an annual revenue of in the neighborhood of $700 million? One word: persistence.
My hero. That's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, "Who's your hero?" And I said, "I don't know, I gotta think about that. Give me a couple of weeks." I come back 2 weeks later, this person comes up and says, "Who's your hero?" I said, "I thought about it. You know who it is?" I said, "It's me in 10 years.
I'm gonna have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because yeah, nothing changes and nothing changes, man.
It's just the way it should be. You shouldn't be focused on others. You should be focused on yourself and what you're doing and feel. And it's just noise from different faces. I don't even know what it is, so I'm just focusing on me, and that's why I am where I am.
In order to do what you love, you gotta get through the obstacles of the things that you don't love. And then eventually they lead you to the thing where you're like, okay, now I'm ready to pursue said thing that I want to do. Or if you're in a job, it's your job, you're supposed to be using that job for something to get to something, right?
It's pushing the water, and there's a jogger actually. Look at this, wow. It's a Florida man right there for you, Blake, jogging.
Partying is weakness for the soul, my friend, so I try and avoid it.
Are you a good guy trying to be bad, or are you a bad guy trying to be good?
That's a good question. I think I am a bad guy that's trying to be good. Just because religiously we're all sinners. We're all sinners. We're born into sin. It's our nature to sin. And it's a decision to try to do the right thing. You know, it's a decision to do the right thing when no one's looking, right? And so I think all of us as humans, none of us are shit, and it's our choice to try to be more than. And so I had to say I lean closer to being an imperfect human that's trying to do the right things and be good.
Just believe in yourself and be cocky and be confident and be humble, train hard. That's it. Just believe in yourself and just keep positive and again keep believing, keep training, keep trying to learn every day. It's every bit of it because no matter what happens, no one can take these away from me. You know what I mean? No one can this away from me. So I just like to embrace every.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard. And you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're gonna give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're gonna fail. So you gotta love it, you gotta have passion.
When I was hitting him with some of those shots, especially the one when I came through and he was throwing an uppercut, I couldn't believe he didn't go to sleep with that.
I didn't get knocked down. I kept fighting through that. I thought about Jesus, man, carrying the fucking cross, and that dude would not quit. Every single time that they would beat him down, he would get back up and he would keep moving forward.
So what would you say the biggest deception was? What was the biggest lie you were told?
It's not that simple.
Why not?
No, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. It's not that simple. And it's a lie they tell you over and over again.
What's not simple?
Any of it. All of it. Try to get you to give up. They say it's not that simple, Vinny.
So what's the truth?
That it is. That if you just do the thing that they tell you you can't, then it's done. And you realize it is that simple. That it always was.
I'm a viewer, and that viewer made me keep going. And each day and more, week 2, I started averaging 4 viewers. Week 3, 8 viewers. Week 4, 20 viewers. So on and so on and so on. So then my sophomore year, I kind of gave up on school.
Right.
I kind of gave up on school. I kind of gave up on everything that I had to my old life and just put everything onto my stream. I streamed every day. I didn't care about nothing else but YouTube, streaming.
How did your parents take to that you had, like you said, you had given up on everything except streaming? I'm pretty sure they weren't as happy about this as you were.
Yeah, that was bad. So, as I was streaming, there was a clip that kind of blown up. It was on Warstar. You remember Warstar, right? It wasn't like, it didn't go viral. It had like maybe 30,000 viewers. So my dad showed my mom, because my dad watches Warstar. My mom seen the video. She's like, what are you doing, blah, blah, blah. Why is everybody talking about you like online, blah, blah, blah. Because it was like hate comments. Mm-hmm. So she kicked me out.
Kicked you out of where?
No, she told me to quit.
Yeah.
Or I'm leaving. Like, or like, you can't do this in my house. So I'm like, I'm out.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm out. Like I'm not about to stop. Like I was already averaging like 20 viewers. I had like 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs.
Right.
Like I'm already going. So I'm like, and once I start something, I'm not stopping.
Right.
So, give me a second.
There are time zones. Why do you think taxes and prices go up the same day in the ghetto? The cost of living keeps rising to make sure people keep dying. How else could there be men with 1 million years while most live day to day? The truth is, there's more than enough. No one has to die before their time. If you had as much time as I have, what would you do with it?
I'd stop watching it. I can tell you one thing. If I had all that time, sure as hell wouldn't waste it.
Take action to make it good, and it will be.
I gotta say, I'm incredibly excited to be a part of your firm. I mean, the clients you have are absolutely...
Fuck the clients. Your only responsibility is to put meat on the table. You got a girlfriend?
I'm married. I have a wife. Her name's Teresa. She cuts hair.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Think about Teresa. Name of the game, move the money from your client's pocket into your pocket.
He said, if you want to become successful in life, young man, he said, number one, you got to change your mindset. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number 2, practice OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. I found that out. I left all my broke friends. I said, y'all gotta go. The thing he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
When I was 16, I won a great victory. I felt in that moment I would live to be 100. Now I know I shall not see 30. None of us know our end, really, or what hand will guide us there. Remember that howsoever you are plagued, or by whom, your soul is in your keeping alone. When you stand before God, you cannot say, but I was told by others to do thus, or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice. Remember that.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Some people need that as a furnace, like they need that competitive drive, you know? And like I feel like that happens when you don't derive joy from what you do. You're worried about people's opinions more than you are worried about your own. Naturally, like everybody else, you always put yourself first, whether you want to acknowledge that or not. You're always worried about you first. But somewhere along the line, somewhere down the line, you've always put somebody else's opinion over yours. They can't do anything for you but talk a good talk. They can either talk you out of something they don't want to see you become successful with, because that possibly will rub them wrong. But it's their fault because they should be doing something successful too. We're supposed to be so focused on what we're doing, we're not focused on someone else. But you're gonna listen to somebody else's opinion, and you're gonna allow their opinion to hold you back.
I don't care how good you are in anything, you don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote. Mm-hmm. And if you can do that, you could be successful in anything.
You know what I mean? I live by the rules of that ego, and I've accomplished so much.
In a dominator ego.
Yeah.
Right? You're set to
all about
confidence.
destroying people. Yeah. Just anybody, you could be a lawyer, you're 200 pounds, I'm staring you down. It was a weird environment growing up that way. You know, because we as people, we try to avoid fights. You know what I mean?
Right.
From my instincts, we avoid fights for all our life. And just to be able, this is what you do, like you're a UFC guy, you're a fighter, this is what you do for a job, a lifestyle. That's pretty bizarre.
But you were getting positive reinforcement from thinking like that for the first time in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Never felt like that before. It was like taking a big drug like a Lucy, just boom, it felt like you're the man. Then everybody's telling you you're great.
Yeah.
You know?
For the first time in your life.
Never understood that. And you know what else Custom Model used to do with me? He used to take me to a hypnotist. He was a hypnotist as well. Yeah, and I used to go into the hypnotist motions.
What kind of shit did they make you do?
You know,
how they do it?
You relax, you go under, you totally focus on blackness, nothingness.
Right.
You go under and just being this savage, intelligent animal, just working. You're gonna do this. You're gonna be a ferocious animal. You're gonna fight, put both hands to the body. You'll use your jab. You're gonna do this in ferocious fashion. And they seeked all that in me as I was younger.
And you were like 12, 13 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. So they're putting you under and just teaching you that mindset.
Yeah.
Did he give you any advice on how to shut it off?
No.
He was probably like, I don't have any time. He was probably like, I don't have any time.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Now, being dangerous is not being a threat. They're two different things, all right? And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. That's very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room.
What's your morning routine like? Or do you have a morning routine that you like, or do you just kind of...
Fasted cardio, is what I like to do, or fasted yoga. That's my most recent thing, is I'm doing either 14 to 16 hours depending upon what my day looks like. So intermittent fasting. And then I usually either like yoga or running in the morning. Today was running, and then I'll do something in the afternoon, either martial arts related or weightlifting related.
Do you drink coffee every morning, like when you wake up, or?
Not always, but I like it. I like these things, these nitros, these caveman nitros. But I like regular coffee too. But I drink water with Himalayan salt in it too. That's one of the first things. Yeah, I put a little lemon in there too.
Do that every
sometimes. Sometimes I throw a little cayenne pepper in that motherfucker. Wow.
Any apple cider, ever vinegar?
I do that stuff sometimes too. I take a lot of probiotics.
Those are the
I eat a lot of kimchi. I find like kimchi and game meat is like, I've been on this kick for the past 3 or 4 months where I just eat kimchi and elk like 3-4 times a week and stuff. Yeah.
Dude, it's hard when you eat some elk before bed and you wake up hard as a rock, wanting to fuck people up too. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
People don't know, man.
Dude.
They don't know. You're eating a super athlete. If you eat elk, you're literally eating a super athlete. You know?
How long's your training routine take you?
Generally 2 hours. A regular day for me is 2 hours. But it depends. One of the things I do is I use, when it comes to training like with weights and kettlebells, I treat kettlebells like it's a skill. And I think that is something that I learned from Pavel Tsatsouline and studying his Strong First protocol.
Mm-hmm.
He advocates a long rest period in between workout sets and more repetitions in terms of volume by virtue of the fact that you have larger rest periods. And a lot of people feel like they're being lazy when they do that because they're not pushing themselves. But I push myself doing other things.
Right.
If you look at the general population and you get a bunch of weak bitches and you get them together, how many of them are going to keep it together? How many of them are going to run every day? How many of them are going to work out every day? Very, very, very few. You're dealing with outliers in particular just by virtue of what you do. How many people are willing to put the work in to achieve this? How many people are going to achieve this physique? Very, very few, right?
Thank you.
So we're talking about outliers. We're talking about that's what I like. I like outliers. I don't like people that it's too hard. I can't hear that.
It's easy to give up. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going. I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
It's like a muscle. Everybody's got the muscle. If you use it, it grows. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? It doesn't ever disappear though. It just looks like it's not there. But if you demand that you push it beyond what it's comfortable with, and that's what you're doing right now, you're pushing beyond your comfort. You were settling for comfort to try to survive. Now you're like, F that, I want more out of this life. I'm not gonna settle for that shit. But then you keep telling yourself the old story. So change your story, change your life. It sounds overly simplistic, but it is true.
So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it.
You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life.
I don't know why the man above gives me the hardest role, but it's nothing the man above don't put you in situations that you can't handle. And I just kept that same positive attitude, like, instead of saying, why me? They're saying this is what he want me to do.
Never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit, you'll want to go home. You'll want to go home perhaps to that wonderful mother that's sitting back there watching you and say, Mom, I can't do it. I can't do it. Just never quit. Go back home and tell Mom, Dad, I can do it. I can do it. I will do it. You're going to be successful.
That's why losing in life is so important. Whether it's getting dumped, getting fired, losing a game, loss, those feelings where things didn't work out your way, that's important because it lets you know this is the bad feeling that comes when it goes wrong, and you improve, and then it makes the good feelings of victory all the better.
The only way you're ever
going to get to the other side of this journey is you have got to suffer to grow. To grow, you must suffer. And some people will get it, and some people won't.
You have to live in it, you have to be comfortable in it, and then maybe some of that shit will help you a little bit along the way.
If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful.